Good morning guys, how are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin morning update. If you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, and we will go straight over to those charts. Yeah, there we go. Right, so yeah, as we said in last night's video, we had to regain this trend line that we were attempting to. If not, it was just going to look like a back test of the trend line, and obviously we were going to play out some downside, well, potentially to this tentative support level that we've got, and that looks to be what is potentially playing out here. Obviously, we could reverse at any point because we know what Bitcoin is like with its behaviors. But I mean, realistically, until we do regain this trend line, I don't necessarily think things are looking like immediate term up. What we realistically don't want to see, I mean, clearly is this main horizontal level we've got of around 11,000. We don't want to lose that level, and realistically, I would be more than happy if Bitcoin forms that base that I was talking about. If it can form that base here around this 11,000 zone, as opposed to this 10,500 zone, or even well, I would call 10,000 too low, to be honest, to stay macro definitely bullish, if you guys know what I mean. But yeah, if we can form a base here and form a box up here, that would actually be ideal. That would be ideal. So this is still not looking bad for me. Yeah, okay, we've obviously lost this ascending triangle, or we may end up having to like adjust. Not adjust that one. We may end up having to adjust it to something like this, which isn't the worst thing to do, and we may do that tomorrow, depending on what we observe with price action today. But yeah, so we'll basically keep an eye on that one. But again, I mean, you guys know, you just got to look at my chart and you can see that I prefer horizontals anyway, as opposed to trend lines. And yeah, trend line, we do, obviously I will put channels in and trend lines clearly in ascending triangles and trend lines here. I mean, I clearly obviously will, but so far as like areas of sort of consolidation, I am much more of a fan of horizontals, so and forming sort of boxes, like we had a bigger box drawn out sort of for this area here, that we were basically playing in. And yes, we had other formations within that larger formation, but it is these larger levels, sort of rectangular box formations, that I look for, like just overall general consolidation over a longer period of time. Obviously we can form any sort of pattern whilst we're in it, and obviously we can not form those patterns, and like I said, just form well, ascending triangles basically, but maybe just having to extend them out further, which is not a problem. I mean, we have to adjust with basically what happens in the market. As it happens, we have to basically take into account new price action when we get it. Obviously, we'd all love an aggressive trend line of an ascending triangle that is so short in time and going to break out straight away. But if we have to play out a larger one, or we have to play out a box formation that eventually has like a descending channel we break out of, like we did here, out of this larger basically formation, then so be it. I mean, that is Bitcoin, guys. That is trading. You just you can't basically expect to get exactly what you want. You just have to trade what you see. And remember, there's lots of people in the market that want lots of different things. So yeah, just be aware of that fact. Just be aware of that fact. But other than that, let me just get rid of this a second. Other than that, we'll have a quick look. I mean, we are basically in a period of indecision, oscillator wise, on the shorter and medium time frame, which is why I do think we will just trade. We'll trade out this sort of box, a larger time frame, a box basically either with the bottom here or the bottom here, and yeah, just shake people out, bore people out of the market, shake people out of the market. Liquidate people that get too bullish at the top, liquidate people that get too bearish at the bottom, and just play out a range of I don't want to use a swear word, but a range of I don't even know what to say without swearing. My vocabulary is so I don't even know how to describe my vocabulary. That oh gosh, my vocabulary is so narrow. We'll use that even though it's not the right word. And now I'm not using. Oh god, right, just start. Right, just gotta stick with numbers, guys. I've got to stick with numbers and charts clearly. Right, so let's have a look at the stochastics. How are we doing? Didn't mean to do that, but we will click. I can't even click today. To be honest, I've literally just walked back in the house from a gym session, and I've had like a big leg day. And obviously legs are like they're the hardest thing to train if you train them properly, and they use most of your whole body's energy. So I'm just a bit like, I don't think a lot of the oxygen at the moment is flowing around my brain. It's just flowing around just the rest of my body's muscles. Anyway, 4 hour, yeah, it was pointing upwards, but looking a bit weak. So we have got to make a move. Obviously, we've seen a bit of weakness this morning. We'll have a look at 10 hour and 12 hour. Obviously, not going to be looking good. 10 hours, obviously making moves down. 12 hour not currently getting supported by this trend line, but you guys will know what I mean. Obviously, the higher up into the bullish zone we get, the easier it is for a stochastic to come down from that level. So if like you sort of get like a line that isn't a necessarily straight line and it sort of curves a bit, it's not the worst thing. But either way, this is still looking like we are definitely losing even sort of a curved trend line here. So yeah, I mean, it could definitely signal more downside. Daily, clearly, clearly as soon as we lost this level, it was looking a bit, it was looking like we were going to keep pushing up, put it that way. It's looking a bit dicey. 3 hour Stokes as well. We have got a nice trend line in 3 hour Stokes at these highs here that we are turning down from. So I mean, we could have something playing out like we saw on the weekly. Doesn't have to be much of a move down on the 3-day Stokes, but I do believe a move down, if we get it, will basically give us it will definitely give us a test down to the 11,000, and obviously not definitely, and we're not far away from that now anyway, so it's hardly pathetic, so I'm hardly talking prophecies by saying that, but yeah, even then we could get a test down to the 10,500 that I'm talking about. So it depends really what range we trade out. Either this is going to be the bottom, or this is the bottom, or all of it. Yeah, I mean, all of it obviously would be this being the bottom. Obviously you'll note we've got a 3-day 9 here, but we have played out some weakness, so this is not the most like definite efficacious 9 that you'll ever see. But yeah, just be aware of it. And on the daily, we have just got price flipping action, so you can see we're just in a chop zone, which is why I think, and especially if we look at longer term time frames like the weekly, things are not looking so bad. Things are not looking so bad. So that kind of tells me there's obviously bifurcation between time frames and yeah, basically between the indicators on various time frames. That will just tell me we're going to trade a range of chop, which Bitcoin does a lot of the time. In fact, you will find most markets will trade sideways more often than they trend, and then when they trend, they go on a nice trend, and then they will consolidate and trade sideways. But you'll find most of their time is spent in a sideways chop. So dollar index, as you can see, on this 4 hour is yeah, like I was expecting it not to be able to hold this level. I mean, it gave its best attempt. It put in a high, it put in a low, it put in a high, it put in a lower high. Wow, I keep getting this wrong. It put in a low, it put in a high, it put in a higher low, and then it put in a higher high, and it wasn't able to put in a higher low, even though it tried here, and now we're below this low. So realistically, this is coming down, as I would expect fundamentally, and that is going to benefit. I mean, silver's recovering pretty nicely. Silver's looking at silver and gold are looking like ascending triangles now. That are probably on the basis ascending triangles do break to the upside. Not probably in the sense this is financial advice and you should go and put all your money into gold and silver, but they are looking like they are ascending triangles and looking like they're just going to pop again. And obviously, clearly with the dollar weaker, stocks have regained about everything. Euro, US dollar, I think it's probably back at its recent highs again. So that had a pullback and now is onwards and upwards, as we would expect with dollar weakness. And oil again, just knocking on those $43 doors, $43 handle doors. It's strange that I call a handle and actually the door, knock on the door, because obviously a handle, this is what we call a handle. Well, if you ever worked like in a proper trading environment, you just call them handles, like a 93 handle. So basically what you had before the spot is the handle. So yeah, some random information there for you. So when I say knocking on the door of a 43 handle, I'm sort of like mixing colloquialisms there, if that is the right word. Remember, my vocabulary is not the greatest, or maybe it's just my brain that's not the greatest at this exact present moment. But yeah, so yeah, basically what are we talking about? That's not even Bitcoin. So yeah, realistically, we are going to have upward pressure, because I believe, well, we are going to have upward pressure from the dollar coming down. And I think the dollar is going to come down to this level. We may play out a range here with the dollar also. There is no guarantee we're going to lose this level and come straight down, but at some point I do believe we are going to lose this level, and it may be this time. It may be this time. Yeah, definitely bear that in mind, because it's bullish for Bitcoin, regardless of how high and what levels Bitcoin breaks. It is bullish for Bitcoin. It is bullish for Bitcoin. So yeah, I mean, that is it really. That is it really. Am I gonna have to be drawing this trend line in again? If we rally up from here, I will probably draw it in this evening, seeing if, depending on how we're looking. If we don't, I will just basically if we come back down, I will just be looking at just the whole rectangular box formation, which you often get at highs. I've already covered this in this video. It is a common formation, and yeah, that's realistically what I'm looking at. 4 hour, nothing. Have we got anything TD wise? Nothing really TD wise. Only 4 hour TD I'll be watching is this on the dollar index, but that's not going to come yet, and that could participate a little bit of a bounce. Nice 9 there at that low. Well, it's not too many, but I do like the 4 hour 9s are better in ranging price action, obviously, because obviously they are a short term time frame, and ranging price action is more short term. So you can see there was a 9 there, roughly got this high, 9 at the low. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a bit of a bounce off this 9, but I would be surprised if we take out this level, and I would believe we'll just get a bit of even sideways trading, and then come in and then continue down, which is clearly bullish for Bitcoin. So there we go, guys. Remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I will speak to you guys later on today.